Hello everybody. Back in the 40s and the 50s, they had weather forecasts, but I can't remember ever hearing a weather forecast. When I was a young boy living in the mining camp, you'd be in the house and someone would walk in and say, "Look outside." And you'd go to the door and look out, and there'd be 2 or 3 inches of snow on the ground. So, snow was a surprise, usually a pleasant surprise for children. And even when we had moved from the mining camp to the city, and we used to wait on the bus to go to school, it would snow, and we would go out to the bus stop and wait to see if a bus came. I can't ever remember having communication saying, "Well, school is closed." Now, this was like in the 40s and the 50s. Now, let's come up to 1962. When I came out of the military, I went to work. That's the first time I ever worked in radio. I had a friend who worked in radio that got me into the local station. And at that time, the weather service issued a weather forecast that came in over a teletype machine. I can't remember if we had United Press International or the Associated Press teletype. But when they issued the weather forecast, they issued it for 2 separate areas. And the reason they issued it for those 2 areas, because we were about the same elevation, although we were close to 100 miles from each other, those 2 areas. And the teletype machine was continuously tearing up. So one morning, the Weather Service issued a winter storm advisory for those 2 locations because of the altitude. And early in the morning, the teletype machine went on the blink, so we couldn't get an update on the weather. So what we did is we rewrote the weather. And we took the Weather Service word for it that we were going to have a lot of snow. So we started to forecast at least 7 or 8 inches of snow. Well, some of the people at the street department in the city heard that, and what they did is they got all their vehicles and positioned them in town and loaded all their trucks with salt, and they were ready for this big snowfall. Well, lo and behold, they were sitting there at 1 o'clock in the morning waiting for the snow to hit. And when the sun came up, it was about 40 degrees and not a cloud in the sky. So after that, no one ever took the weather forecast serious. And on another note, a little while after that, there was when television came in, there was a guy who was a weatherman at one of the television stations. And around the holidays, he did basically what we did, I think, because he was forecasting this humongous snowfall. And it was right during the height of the shopping season. So everybody went home and was going to hibernate for the big snowfall that came. Well, another one of those deals where the next day it was 40 degrees and very few clouds in the sky. And all the merchants were livid because no one came out to shop. And I think they fired the guy. And another quick story, the company that I work for, we did have a fairly big snowfall that morning. When I got up, there was like 3 or 4 inches of snow on the ground, but it was just starting to lay a little bit on the road. So I thought, well, I'll just take a snow day because the company I work for, if it was really bad, they had a way that they would reimburse you for the lost time, which was a pretty good deal. But that day they didn't, because by, I don't know, about 9 or 10 o'clock in the morning, it had warmed up and the snow had melted, and here I was at the house. And it was another one of those 40-degree sunny days. But now they can forecast weather. You can go on the internet, and there's all kinds of sources to get the weather. And they're pretty accurate anymore. Occasionally they'll miss it a little bit, but this last snow that we had through the high country, they hit that one right on the head, on the nail of the head, so to speak. And we had about 2 or 3 inches down in the valley. But some of the people that live up in the mountain, in fact, the power is still off in some areas. They're trying to get the power restored. They had 10 and 12 inches of snow. Well, that's I guess we'll call this my Christmas vlog. I'd like to wish all of my YouTube friends Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Holidays. I hate to say Happy Holidays because to me, Christmas is something that I celebrate. And at our house, our family says Merry Christmas. But if you don't follow that, why, that's fine. For what am I trying to say? I'm trying to back myself off in a corner. What I'm trying to say is, everybody has their own belief, and I appreciate all the people that watch my videos. So have a good time during the holidays. Bye-bye, everybody. See ya. If I can get this thing turned off.